Hey guys, welcome back to another live trading video. Today I'm taking a look at Euro USD, which I'm currently short on and looking to see if I can get a profit out of this this downtrend here. So with that said, what I mean by live trading, these are real trades that I'm taking on my account. I'll be sharing the trade start to finish, whether it's a win or a loss on YouTube. And so stay tuned till the end if you want to see if I'm able to make money or not on this this trade. I am currently looking at Euro USD here on the daily chart. I do like this thing to the downside, and I actually took a trade a couple days ago. Now, just to be clear, I was actually on vacation when I took this trade, so I wasn't able to film anything up till now. But fortunately, the trade hasn't really moved a whole lot, and I don't think you guys are missing a tremendous amount of the trade here. But basically, I'll take it down to the 4-hour chart. You can see price pulled back to a level that I liked, and I ended up getting short right around here on the euro against the US dollar. Now, if we go back to the daily chart for just a quick second, we take a look here at the fibs on this move. I actually liked the idea of buying shorting the retracement here at the 38.2%. So we had this big extended move to the downside on the euro. Price started to give way, tried to pull back here, and I decided to basically pick up the short on this candle here. So I ended up jumping into the trade a couple days back, and I risked on this account. Let me see. I risked 35 pips on this trade. So if price goes against me here, the worst that happens is I take a 35 pip stop loss. I am now still in the trade a couple days later, so we can take a look at the 1-hour chart, for example. And you can kind of see what this thing has done since. So basically, we came up to this level. We did end up, sort of going sideways, retesting that same area. And we found sellers in this area both times, which was nice. Again, we retested this morning, this general area, and saw a little bit of rejection. So what I am hoping for here with my trade is for this consolidation to give way into a bigger breakout to the downside. If that happens, then great. What I will look to do is trail my stop loss. You'll notice that I do have a stop loss on this trade, but I don't have a take profit. And the purpose behind that is I am looking to see if this trade can turn into a nice little winner. And if that happens, my goal is to let a winner run in the sense that, okay, I entered back here. If price can keep going lower, then great. What I'll do is I'll take this stop loss and I'll start moving it up behind price to lock in some profit on the trade. And then eventually, once price starts to kind of go back up, that is when I will hopefully get out of the trade for a profit. Now, there is some volatility coming into the market right now. We do have a Fed meeting that is going on. So you can see the last candle or last few candles have been pretty volatile. Pretty ugly candle right here. But again, my goal is to see if this thing can either break consolidation to the downside, then great. We will look to hold on to the trade and try and continue it to the downside. Or if it breaks out to the upside, if things go too high, then of course I will take a very small controlled loss. And again, I'll still put it up on YouTube for you guys to get value out of this trade. So with that said, just to recap, the idea is a downtrend on the higher time frames, looking for continuation and I decided to go short on the pullback here. Now here's a quick look at the trade alert that I shared with our members, which includes the fundamental analysis, which I haven't talked about yet on this trade. So again, I said I'm taking a short on Euro USD. Previously, I had a pound-dollar trade that didn't work out so well. I was on vacation when that happened, so I wasn't able to film that one either, but it was a quick stop out and just a small one there. And I said same general idea though with dollar strength expectations. So I'm looking to see if the dollar can get strong from here. In terms of technical analysis, loved the downtrend overall on this chart. Thought it was really nice for a potential retest of resistance here. And at that 38.2%, I decided to execute the sell position. So there's the technicals. We talked about that already. Fundamentally, I liked the idea of going short on the euro because the euro area generally right now has a lagging monetary policy compared to some of the other central banks out there. More specifically, the US, the Fed has basically moved towards tightening monetary policy and even has talked about raising rates and reducing that stimulus. Well, The euro area, conversely, has not. And in fact, their stimulus has not been lifted very much at all, and has even sort of talked about staying that way until inflation needs are met. But that's kind of a ways off. So for me right now, generally, I am bearish on the euro, bullish on the dollar, called this trade outside of the group. You can see inside of our Discord, I basically shared the sell order, the stop loss that I had placed on my trade. And if I make any updates, members inside of the group will be able to see what those updates are. So usually if I trail stops, I'll put a notification here, and then members are able to see it sent right to their phones. So if you would like access to the Discord, by the way, there will be a link down below in the description to join us there. What you can do is you can click the link to sign up on our website. If you'd like an access code for the premium version, you can use that code that's down there, and that's actually going to get you a discount off of the private Discord community. You get access to our chat rooms, you get access to our trade alerts being sent out, my trades, Patrick's trades, Ryan's trades. We put out research on currency pairs that we're studying, gold, things like that. Our whole team here at A1 Trading is working really hard to make this the best Discord community for Forex traders out there. So hope to see some of you guys in there. With that said, what I'll do is I'll pause the video and see if this thing can progress a little bit, whether, you know, again, if it's a winner, we'll still post it up on YouTube. If it's not, either ways, you know, hopefully you guys will see the raw footage. So with that said, I'll pause the video. All right, you guys, it seems like the patience is starting to pay off here. Euro USD coming down nicely here on a Monday morning. Just got into the office and wanted to make this little update on the trade. So if you guys remember, I got into the trade right around here. And so I have been sitting on this, full transparency. Not every single one of my trades goes right into profit. I wish it did. It would make me really, really wealthy. But the reality of trading is that some trades are harder than others. But anyways, I ended up taking this short, if you guys remember back here at that level. And then what happened is that same level came back into play and really tried to break out to the upside 2 more times. So got into the short, price came back up, found resistance, which I loved, right? And then came up again, and this time fell back down, but saw some more follow through. So a big deal here, actually breaking through this level here. And this, I would say, is pretty awesome, because what we now see is we are seeing this level of what was sort of that demand zone. We're seeing that break to the downside, and now the sellers seem to have full control of this market. Now, what I have done is I've actually just moved my stop loss to break even. I'll share with the alert that the update came out here. So I just said I'm finally getting the drop that I was looking for on Euro USD. Just moved my stop loss to break even. Let's see if we can catch more downside from here. I'll look to start trailing stops should things get down to about 1.1585. So that is kind of where I'm at with this trade. It is a matter of just, you know, waiting this one out, because at this point, the cool situation, I sent out this alert, and now the only thing that I have to do here is I need to be patient, right? So part of my trading strategy is trying to let winners run as much as possible. The only way I can capture some really big profits in the markets is if I'm patient enough to let them come my way. And so I have noticed that, okay, we've seen the sell-off that we were looking for. Fortunately, my analysis seems like it was correct, seems like the level was respected, and now it is just a matter of whether or not the market can see follow through to get me into a place where I can start moving that stop loss, not just to break even. Right now we're floating $93, but theoretically, if price comes all the way back, this trade could still be just a break even trade. So I'm not gonna, you know, kind of count my blessings just yet, but my idea here is, if this thing is going to run further, right, we're going to see hopefully finding sellers in this general area. We should see, if price does try and poke back up, that we see sellers come in fairly quickly. If that does not happen, I'll trail out for a break even, because at that point I don't want to just get caught into a range anymore. So at this point, the market's going to do one of two things. It's either going to continue to fall overall and get me into a place where I can start trailing that stop loss into profit, or if the market just decides to go running back to the upside, then I'll just stop out and look for another opportunity at another point, which I'm not afraid to do that either. Sometimes people will say, Nick, you should have just taken a profit, or, you know, Nick, you should have closed out of the trade sooner. But here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, without hindsight, that I don't know what's going to happen next. At this point, I'm leaving it in the hands of the market. I've done my analysis. I've managed my risk. I've set my stop loss. I've moved stop loss to break even. So at this point, it is purely just a waiting game to see if the market will give me a bigger profit. If it does, great. I'll be grateful. I'll look to trail stops. I'll be responsible with my strategy. If it doesn't, again, I'll manage my risk and get out of there and look for another setup that meets my criteria. So with that said, I will pause the video. Again, just floating about 95, 96 bucks on the trade. We'll see if we can make a little bit more and look to trail stops from here. All right, guys, and things are going really well now with the Euro USD short position. You can see we did see some great follow through, and I have actually moved my stop loss now officially into profit. So from here, really good spot to be in. We can't lose money on the trade. I've actually moved my stop loss from where it was previously. You saw I was at break even with the trade, and this is why I like to be a little bit conservative with my stop loss. I like to trail and try and keep it a little bit on the slow to moderate side when trailing my stop, because I like to give the market a chance to do stuff like it did here, right? We saw a little bit of consolidation. We saw price go back and forth. It did make a jump, and once we failed here just a few minutes ago, I just shared with members inside of the group that I have officially trailed my stop loss to profit. So there is a screenshot that I just shared inside of the group. Like I said, moving my stop loss just above the previous structure where we failed lower. That's what you like to see, or at least for my strategy, what I like to see as a seller. I like to see the fact that we did end up holding this area, sold off, and now that gives me a chance to say, hey, you know what? From here, I'd like to trail that stop loss, lock in some profit, and go from there. So I believe this is going to be at the worst case now. If this market completely erupts to the upside, I'll still take $60 out of the market, which I understand is not a lot of money, but when you take into consideration that I'm taking many trades throughout the week, or I'm taking several at the same time, or you have multiple accounts taking the same trade, it's not really about the money as much as it is about the concept and the principle, right? I'm trying to trail stops and let a winner run. Theoretically, even though, yeah, I've only locked in $60 on the trade, and if this closes out for 60, that's not the biggest winner or anything in the world. What's cool is that in theory, if this market continues to trend like the way I'm sort of anticipating it could, right? I do have targets overall, longer term picture on the Euro USD to move down to this level here, which is 1.1530. If that happens, this $60 profit could very well trail into a much larger profit. Maybe I can lock in $100 or $200, $300, $500 on the trade. Some of my best trades are trades exactly like this, where I just trail and trail and trail, and eventually the stop loss gets hit for a massive win. That is my trading strategy. That's my approach. And from here, I do have an area of concern that I'm watching. This is why I just trailed my stop loss. We are coming into an area of support. Will we catch a bounce here? We'll have to see. If price is able to bounce and make its way back up, I will go ahead and stop out here, just because I'd like to see this thing fail fairly quickly and keep moving rather than try and turn around big time, right? So I'm looking for this trend to basically continue to put in those lower highs. If I don't see a lower high, right, if that becomes a higher high, then I'm just going to step out of the way, take my profits, and look for another chance to re-enter. But quick view at the profit, I'm up $130 here on the trade. Not bad, good spot to be in for sure. Just starting into the week, so it's early and more things can happen. So we'll see if we can get some more downside on Euro USD. All right, guys, I am in a little bit of a situation here. So I actually re-entered into my position, and the reason I say I'm in a situation is because I forgot to film an update when I actually took that new trade. So let me try and catch you guys up to speed with where we are currently at. I'm in a new trade now on Euro USD. So same currency pair, same bearish bias that we discussed earlier on in this video, but now I am short at a new price. So let me try and explain everything that happened. You can actually see my orders of entry. So remember, I took my initial trade here. So I shorted Euro USD, sold 20,000 units there, sold, price came down, and I was in profit. As we saw, I trailed my stop loss into profit, and then price actually came out and tagged me out of the trade here on this little spike. Came a little bit too far and ended up taking me out of my stop loss. Now, of course, that's not ideal, but I still really wanted to be short on Euro USD. So at that time, what I did is I did take a new trade. And just to show you that I'm not saying that in hindsight or anything like that, here is my trade alert that I shared. So I basically had my stop loss here on Euro USD, and I said I decided to re-enter my trade on Euro USD at resistance. I like the level, and price seems to be showing some rejection here on the lower time frames going into the New York session. risking 25 pips, same trade concept as previously written, but with a nice new zone of potential resistance. And you guys, it seems to be playing out nicely so far. So here's the trade. So you can see it kind of looks a little bit silly because I got stopped out, and then on the very same 4-hour candle and 1-hour candle, I decided to re-enter the trade. So I like looked over everything and I said, I think my stop loss was too tight, and I just jumped back in the trade. The first thing I'll say about myself is I still make trading mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best trader on YouTube or on social media or anything. I'm just a guy trading my money and trying to stay real with it. So I ended up taking the trade again. I just jumped back into the trade with a fresh entry, and that's where we are sitting right now. So again, here is the zone. So price came back up into this zone, tagged me out of my stop loss just here, and I decided to re-enter into the trade right around this level here. So back in the trade, I am currently up $105. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pat myself on the back because it seems like I made the right call here. Of course, you know, I don't always make the right call and I don't want to act like I do, but I think that in this case, it was the right call to stay bearish, stay biased to the downside, and stick to my analysis. And I think that honestly, this may have been a mistake. I may have gotten out a little too soon on that initial trade. So either ways, let's update where we currently sit. Price basically came up to my zone. I was able to get into that short, and bam, we are actually seeing some follow through. Now, there was some great news that just came out. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. So check this out. We had ECB leaving the monetary policy unchanged, and the market is taking this as a very bearish thing for the euro. Now, remember, I am a trader that focuses on fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis. So combining the two things here, this level of resistance was a nice trigger for my sell. On top of that, the fundamental news here this morning of ECB keeping things basically unchanged, that's not great for the euro, right? Because the euro situation is lagging in monetary policy. So I'm happy to hold on to my short. So you'll notice I have already trailed my stop loss to break even. I called that out in the signal room. So basically here you can see I said, seems like re-entering was the right call. Now I'm moving my stop loss to break even and loving the sell pressure. Looks like the analysis is playing out so far. So I am happy with how things are going. I wish every trade was this good, but again, this is trading. So we'll see what we can get. Now, there's a big step here that we need to address. There is a big level of support here. Now you might say, well, Nick, why don't you just take profits right now? Go ahead and lock in that $100 and maybe you can look to re-enter again and make another $100. So at this point, I closed out. I should probably mention that. So currently I closed out of my previous trade. I think it was about $65. I'm sure that the editor can just throw that up there. Yeah, it was about $60.60. So that was the previous trade. So now I'm floating another $100 on the trade. And you might say, well, Nick, why don't you just take profits here? You're in a good spot. Why don't you just take profit when price is coming into support? And it may be the case that in the next update that I give you, that would have been the answer. But I don't know what's going to happen next. In my situation, I don't have hindsight on my side. I am taking these trades in real time. And I believe that this trend to the downside is strong. And when we're talking about trends, what do we know? We're talking about lower lows, lower highs, right? So I'm anticipating that although yes, we are at support, if this trend that I am analyzing really has potential, I would expect this level to try and break. And that is why I've moved my stop loss to break even. So worst case scenario, price comes all the way back, tags me out, no harm, all good. I'll take the $60 of profit on the previous trade. All good. Best case scenario is we see a breakout of this zone and maybe we could come back to retest levels down here at 1.153 in the next few weeks. We'll see. So again, that's why I like to trail stops. I like to give the profits the chance to really, really run. So with that said, what I will do now, I'm in a good spot with this trade. It's just a matter of patience now. I'll pause the video and come back once things have moved. Well, that quick, you guys. We are out of the trade there for just a little better than break even, about $6, $7 here on the trade. Not sure exactly. I'm sure this is some form of news or something maybe came out that was bearish for the dollar. But either ways, I am out of the trade and no big deal. I will look for other opportunities. May even look to re-enter my short here at some point. But again, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off before it gets too long. I'm out of Euro USD for the $60 trade and then the $6 trade. So somewhere around $60 to $70 here on this trade. So thank you guys very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you back next time. What's up guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.